ant, you little damn ant, buddy.
You're such a nice guy, Jay Leno.
I'm bored! I'm so bored!
Why don't we go to my website?
Gentlemen, the cola is very, very good today.
Les, I have a question for you.
I also have a question for you, but you go first because you asked first.
What nights this week are you dangerous?
Well, that's a funny thing. It's like, I need my schedule. Like, I get my schedule tomorrow night, so I'm not totally certain about like the weekend and that onward. And like, I don't think I'll be dangerous. What's today? I don't think I'll be dangerous Tuesday. Wednesday's uncertain. Thursday maybe. But you know what?
I'm dangerous tonight.
I'm also thinking I'm dangerous tonight.
You know what? I'm thinking I'm dangerous tonight.
But the question I have for you, Gordon, remember when we watched good movies? Like, remember when we watched like whatever the More Than Friends? That was a good movie. I miss watching good movies for this podcast.
This is not a good movie. You are correct in that. It is. There's a lot more to say about this than the last several we've done.
That is not true.
I have a lot of notes. A lot of it is just like, what is the logic of this movie? What is this little... This is a movie with a lot of great, stupid little details. A lot of, well, why that? Why is that in the script? That doesn't make sense. Why is this? Why is Amy, Maid Shanamik's character, given such high praise by the theater director because she bought a trunk at an estate sale to be a prop in Romeo and Juliet? Where is there a trunk in Romeo and Juliet, for example?
Just background set dressing?
It's stuff like that. It's things like that that make this... I also have a lot of ancillary stuff of other air times and some commercials and things. Like, I've got a lot of things I want to say. I want to talk about the way Ermy interacts with food in this movie, because it's some of the most bizarre behavior I've seen in any movie we've covered on this show. There's 3 separate instances of Ermy with food that I need to talk about.
I'm glad you were so... I guess it's like a reverse of Roswell, I guess, where it's like I had so much I wanted to talk about and you didn't. Like, you still liked it, but you just didn't think there would be much. But then we found things to talk about. It's just like...
It helped that I watched this with Cass.
Okay.
And that I've also just been on a real high weekend of like watching a lot of things that have gotten my energy going. Like watching a lot of Very Good Taskmaster and Nirvana the Band the Show. And I'm just like amped in my media consumption as of late. So this was like caught me on a high. This caught me on a good day.
God, I wish I was watching Taskmaster and Nirvana the Band the Show. Well, I guess I did just watch Nirvana the Band the Show, the movie.
We've been watching it in preparation for the movie. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that.
Like, I know very little about the show. I've seen an episode and a half. Still really love the movie.
Yeah, we watched the web series in totality, and then we just watched the first episode of the show earlier tonight. Fucking great stuff. Some of the hardest I've laughed at anything in a long time. Across that. But that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about I'm Dangerous Tonight from 1990, directed by Tobe Hooper, which you will have to keep,
that was him. Oh my!
You will have to keep reminding yourself that over the course of this, because this is not very Tobe Hooper-ish.
This might be his worst movie. Actually, no, he's made a lot of trash, but still, it's certainly down there.
I can't have been the first one to make the joke about the Tobe Hooper, Steven Spielberg Poltergeist thing of who directed Poltergeist, Tobe or not Tobe.
I feel like somebody's definitely made that
Someone
joke.
has to have done that before, to the point that it's not even worth looking up to see. That has to be out there. Written by Bryce Lansbury and Philip John Taylor, loosely based on the novella of the same name by Cornell Woolrich, which the Wikipedia page for Cornell Woolrich includes the sentence, His biographer, Francis Nevins Jr., rated Woolrich the fourth best crime writer of his day, behind Dashiell Hammett, Earl Stanley Gardner, and Raymond Chandler. And if your biographer can't put you anything better than fourth in your field, that's not great.
The Wikipedia page says that entirely.
Yes, that's not the only thing it says, but
No,
like
but
that's
I just meant like if your biographer can't place you higher than four,
no,
like
that's not on the Wikipedia.
oh,
page.
okay,
That's color commentary from yours truly.
okay.
It ends at Raymond Chandler, and that's that quote I pulled.
Okay.
The movie stars Machen Amick, which is pronounced Machen, at least according to the USA Network ad spot that we found for this.
I always would have thought it's Machen because I think that's how the German word is, but Christoph will correct me.
Yes, probably. It also could just be someone just read that off a card wrong. I don't know.
Mhm.
Corey Parker, Daisy Hall, Arlie Ermy, Natalie Schaefer, Jason Brooks, William Berger, with Mary Fran D. Wallace and Anthony Perkins. Some interesting names in there. We'll talk about them. The movie was broadcast August 8th, 1990 on the USA Network. On ABC, you had a repeat of Doogie Howser, MD, and an episode of New Attitude. On CBS, there was a repeat of Jake and the Fat Man. On NBC, there was a repeat of Night Court and a repeat of Dear John. And on Fox, there was an episode of Malloy and a failed pilot called I'm Home, which was an Andrea Martin show where the log line is a rich socialite's life is turned upside down when her daughter arrives home from college pregnant. Not to be confused with the other 1990 failed pilot, Heil Honey, I'm Home. You're aware?
I am aware of that.
A British sitcom which, quote, centers on Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun, who live next door to a Jewish couple, Arnie and Rosa Goldenstein. The show spoofs elements of mid-20th century American sitcoms and is driven by Hitler's inability to get along with his neighbors. So a different 1990 failed pilot. This one is just I'm Home, not Heil Honey, I'm Home. Two different shows.
Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like we canceled the Hitler one too early. I feel like it could have really found its footing by season 2.
I am fascinated as to what those 8 episodes that never aired were like, because they filmed.
It got canceled like mid first episode, right?
It got canceled in the middle. Yes, in the middle of the airing of the first episode, but they filmed like 10 of them. So there's a bunch out there that have just never seen the light of day. And fascinating.
I was just curious. I went to Toby Hooper's Letterboxd page, and this is his 7th lowest rated movie.
What's rated below it?
Number 6 is The Mangler. Then it's The Damned Thing, Jinn, Dance of the Dead, Night Terrors, and Crocodile as the worst.
Sure. I have heard of some of those.
I've heard of The Mangler and Jinn. That's it.
I feel like there was maybe one other one that I've heard of, but I don't remember now. And let me look this up while we're here. Let me see. What? Toby Hooper. Whatever, indeed. Good old Tobe Hooper. Lowest first.
I don't like that it's Toby. Like, that's so Tobe. Like, it's Tobe. Like, I don't like pronouncing the E.
Well, tough shit.
Mr. Hooper.
Yeah. Anyway, Toby Hooper directed this movie. Not very well, I'm sorry to say. But what an interesting thing. Who knows?
Where did it even begin? I guess at the beginning with the fucking sarcophagus.
Honestly, I liked the crypt. I thought that was a well-designed piece of prop work.
Very good opening. I really like it. It set up the whole movie well, but the movie after it could not live up to the opening.
Yeah. So do you want to do the plot rundown for people that haven't seen this? I want to see how well you can do with a plot rundown for this.
Let's see how well I can do. I will try my best.
You want me to give you a time, like a stopwatch timer?
No, I will just talk within like 2 minutes. I can't possibly remember anything more.
See if you can do as much in order as well, not just like this and then also this. Like
and
get it as close to chronological as you can.
I won't. I'll say now that I'm not going to say like the final moments, but I'll say as much before that.
We can spoil the ending. Who cares?
I feel like the ending pissed me off so much that I want to save it.
Okay. Okay,
But the
but
rest
we'll
of
save
it,
it later. I'm not. I thought you were saying like
yeah, not like
we're not going to
don't
spoil it
mention
on
it the
the
whole episode.
episode.
I'm just saying
Like
for this specific plot rundown. Okay, so this crypt, as you called it, gets brought into a museum, because it's like this one collector guy like really wanted it, and I
incorrect already, but let's go.
and whatever. It's just like, and but it turns out that inside it is like this Aztec cloak thing, but that's all like revealed later, like what the origin of this is. But it's like an Aztec cloak that was worn during human sacrifices, and but for some reason, when people now touch it, it makes them do murder and sometimes sex. It's they say that it like unleashes your dark desires or something like that,
Something like that.
but usually murder. It's usually murder,
It's
but
almost
sometimes
always murder,
sex.
and unless you're a good enough person, but you're sexually repressed, in which case it might transform them into a whore. Exactly.
Exactly. God. Anyway, so guy grabs the like ends up grabbing the cloak and kills the janitor, security guard, whatever.
The
Kills
security
his
guard, I think. Yeah.
wife, and then it
Yes.
ends up in a box at a yard sale. And then we meet Amy.
He also
Uh,
kills himself. Like
he also
he
kills
doesn't
himself.
end up in
Yes,
a box. The cloak ends up in
the
a box
cloak is in the
after he has
box.
killed himself.
Uh, anyway, we meet Amy, who is in this class taught by Anthony Perkins. I wrote down the word. Um, and there's a project where she has to write a term paper on the psychology of animism. And her partner, whose name I forget,
It's like
oh,
Eric or something.
and Machinomic is Amy. Uh,
Yes.
but her part, this part really fucking got me. How the partner is like, "Hey, Amy, just so you know, I'm gonna be useless for our group project because I'm busy working on this play. Do you want to do all the work for me? Also, do you want to do work for the play you're not part of on top of the work you're gonna do for our paper?"
Yep.
And Amy's just like, "Sure," because she's a pushover.
Exactly. Yeah. She's a
And
good
so
girl who's
she
sexually repressed.
and to find props for the play she's not part of, she goes to an estate sale, finds the box, and
And
inside
estate
of it,
sale, yard sale, by the way, which
estate
is
sale, yard
such a
sale.
funny detail that like it's an estate sale, but some guy is just selling shit on the yard and is willing to haggle for this haunted box.
Anyway, inside of it is the cloak, or I just kind of saw it as a fabric before they said it was specifically a cloak. I just thought it was like it reminded me of In Fabric. Have you seen that movie?
I have not. I know of it, but I
It's
haven't seen it.
basically similar, but also not at all, and much better than this.
I
Um,
believe it.
Anyway, uh, so she gets the fabric, and it first it's used in the play, and it gets the guy, her partner, to be a bit too aggressive during his fight scene as Mercutio. Oh, and he hurts the guy. He doesn't like kill him or anything; it just hurts him.
He's
Uh,
about to stab his eye out, and then the cloak falls off his shoulders, and he snaps out of it.
Yeah. And then Amy turns it into a dress and wears it to this beautiful dance scene. Oh, that party is so fucking insane.
That
Um,
do you remember what theme that party was? What kind of party this college was throwing?
I don't.
It's the Easter dance.
What? Okay, whatever. Moving on.
Yep.
Anyway, Amy has sex with somebody's boyfriend. I think it's like her sister's boyfriend,
She almost has sex with her cousin's boyfriend.
cousin's boyfriend.
And
Yes.
then he takes off the dress and she freaks out and leaves.
Yeah, snaps out of it, yada yada. This happens a lot. But then the cousin gets the dress, goes on a murderous rampage, and then dies at some point. I miss because it's like at a certain point, it's like they keep saying that's like, oh, she burnt up, but I didn't remember her dying.
Okay,
And
you missed something big then. Well, I will come back around with I
but
will
I will
back
keep
off
going.
on
But then
yes.
somebody else gets it. I'm not sure who because a lot of these women look the same. Is the thing.
Yes. I
Somebody else gets the dress, but it's like Amy thinks like no, it's like it had to be burned up because the cousin got burned up, and it's like, but no, somebody else is going on a murderous rampage now. Oh, and wearing the dress, and it's like yada yada yada. They eventually get the dress and put in a wood chipper. Happy ending ish.
Okay. Let
I
me.
skipped over. I didn't even mention early Ermy because he's like an investigator in like the second half
He's
of the
just a
movie.
cop. He's just a cop that shows up. Okay, let me come back in and sweep some things up that you missed. So the guy at the beginning is not some random museum owner. He's the professor that's supposed to be teaching this class.
Oh,
And then he dies, so Anthony Perkins takes over. Running through all this, Anthony Perkins is trying to get the cloak for reasons. Um, Amy, like you said, she makes the dress. She gets all sexy. Everyone else at this dress is wearing all black, so the red dress pops especially. And her cousin gets really mad at her for seducing her boyfriend. Amy comes back after the dance. You totally missed this and kills her grandma on accident. Pushes her over the railing. She falls down the stairs in her wheelchair. She dies. They're fighting over the dress and she dies. So that's
forgot
a
about
thing.
the grandma already.
Yeah. Amy's cousin, whose name is like Gloria or something.
No clue.
Gloria, yeah.
Amy is the only character name I remember.
Yes. So Gloria who goes
there's
over
a
to
Wanda as well.
Yes, Wanda is the one at the end. So Gloria takes the dress to go on a date with her boyfriend, who she's been dating for 3 months and they haven't had sex. And she has sex with him because she thinks he's going to propose. But the big secret he has is actually that he's about to get drafted to the NFL. And so she gets upset about the way he treats her, puts on the dress, strangles him in the shower, and cuts his dick off with a razor. Do you get it? She kills him in the shower because Anthony Perkins is in this movie. And then, because she's jealous of Amy because she thinks they hooked up, she drives back home, rams them with her car, chases them down in the street. Amy and Eric jump out of the car that they're in, and Gloria's truck goes over the side, crashes. She almost kills Eric, but then Eric gets away and the car blows up. And that's when she burns up in the big car explosion that happens.
Completely missed that was her.
And then we cut to some random woman slitting a guy's throat in a car. And we come to find out eventually that is like the night clerk at the morgue or something, who was like a drug addict that got sent here as part of her rehab. And the main clerk was in some like conference in Boca Raton. So she was the one that filed away everything from Gloria's death. And she stole the magic dress that didn't burn up, and she put it on, and now she's going around murdering drug dealers. And for some reason, she also wants to kill Amy. So she goes to Amy's house.
I think the dress is making her want to kill Amy.
But I don't know, like, I don't remember how that, like, I guess so.
Like that's just how because she's also trying to kill the other guy. Like everybody who wore the dress but took it off is like also going to be a victim. I think is what it was implied.
Yeah, it's something stupid like that. So Wanda shows up at the house. Wanda, who by the way is the mom from E.T., is Dee Wallace, shows up. There's a big like cat and mouse chase through this giant house that they live in. First, she kills either Amy's mom or aunt. It was unclear who that woman was, but she slits her throat and leaves her on the kitchen floor. The cat and mouse chase. Amy knocks Wanda out. She gets back up. Amy pushes Wanda over the railing again. She gets back up, knocks Amy out with a statue, and then Amy's in bed wearing the red dress. Eric shows up and starts making out with her, and then she's like, oh no, you put me in this dress. You are evil. You're under its thrall from the time you put it on in your Romeo and Juliet rehearsal. And it turns out he killed Wanda off screen, like stabbed her with a knife and then hit her in a shed. Amy fights back against the dress enough to get Eric to agree to stab the dress to death when they're just holding it between each other after she's taken it off with like garden shears. And then they chop it up. The cops show up. Everything's fine. She puts the dress in a wood chipper and dumps it into Wanda's grave as they're burying her. And then the ending that you want us to get back to later. Mm-hmm. So that's just a few more details to get it all out there.
And then again, barely mentioning Arlie Ermy.
Yeah, he's just like, he's not functionary to the plot. He's just there. He like suspects that Amy is up to no good because he doesn't believe in the supernatural side of things, and he thinks she killed her grandma on purpose to get her inheritance of $400 and a wedding ring. Because she did. Her grandmother is infirmed, and there always has to be someone at home watching her. And she left to go to the dance, and then when she got back, she pushed her over the rails, or really, they were playing tug of war with the evil dress, and grandma's wheelchair went backwards over the rails, and she fell down the stairs and died. Grandma, by the way, who is the millionaire's wife from Gilligan's Island, is Lovey Howell from Gilligan's Island.
But what I'm wondering is why Grandma wanted the dress.
She knew it was evil because she's old. She like saw the cloth a few times and made like bad eyes at it, like that's evil. And so she was like,
she's so old. She was back there at Aztec.
That's honestly, that's how the movie plays it. There's no other reason for her to know it's evil other than she's also old, like the Aztecs. But she's like trying to get the evil dress away from her granddaughter, and it doesn't work, and she dies. So that's why R. Lee Ermey shows up. R. Lee Ermey, I want to talk about it. Did you pick up on the 3 wild bits of food acting from R. Lee Ermey?
Not at all.
Okay.
I was so curious what the hell you were talking about.
Okay, so the first time he shows up in the movie, he only has like 3 scenes. The first scene, he shows up to wherever, I guess it's on campus,
it's
where
like the food court or whatever.
Yes, where Amy is getting lunch. And first of all, he's smoking a cigar, and the lunch lady is like, "You can't smoke in here." And he says, "It's okay. I have like a note from the Pope that says I can," or something like that. He says like he's papally allowed to smoke a cigar in this food hall. But so he gets food, she gets food. They're sitting across from each other. He's like chewing her out about this. At one point, he asks, "Can I have one of your fries?" She has like the disc fries, whatever those are called. And she says,
like the wagon wheels,
something like that. Not quite as like if you just sliced a potato and just fried those, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's a name for that. She says it. I just don't remember. She says, "Yes, you can have one of my fries." So he like pushes some of them around and grabs one from like the middle of the pile. He like sweeps like 3 or 4 fries away so that he can pick one out from the middle. It's crazy. And then at the end of the scene, when he's leaving, he grabs another one as he leaves. And he's like, "Hey, eat your lunch." And then he grabs a fry. But that's not one of the 3. The second one is at the end of the scene before he's gotten up. First of all, 2 shots back to back. He has like a tray with stuff on it. And then the second shot, there's just now a paper plate with like a folded up burrito or something, like a tinfoil wrap burrito that was not in any of the prior shots.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's leaving, he picks that up, folds the paper plate in half, and puts it in his jacket pocket. He just puts a whole burrito and plate in his jacket pocket and leaves the rest of his food on the tray.
I completely did not pick that up. Like,
it's crazy. It's so wild. And then the third bit of wild R. Lee Ermey food acting is there's another scene where he's at his desk and he gets a call, and he's smoking, and he has a little paper cup of, he's like smoking a cigar in one hand and has like a little paper cup of coffee in the other hand. And when he hangs up the call, he puts those both down, opens up his desk drawer, pulls out a candy bar that already has a bite taken out of it, takes one bite out of it, puts it back in the desk, and closes it. It's and that point is when Cass said, "Who is this guy?" You've never seen a human being eat food the way R. Lee Ermey eats food. It is bizarre. It's so, he's an alien. He's playing an alien in this movie. The movie doesn't address it. R. Lee Ermey is playing an alien who is eating food and interacting with food for the first time ever.
You know who he is? He's Begonia.
He's Begonia. Yeah. It's so fucking weird. It like, I can't comprehend it. Go back and watch those scenes. It's inhuman. It is inhuman behavior from R. Lee Ermey.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you that's not in the script. I guarantee you that's just, at least for the fries thing, with him sweeping away fries to grab one from the middle, that is unwell behavior. That's what I come to these movies for.
What the hell?
I took so many notes. I took so many notes.
I took so few.
Let me just go through them in order of what I have. That we have. So to get the things we haven't already mentioned, I like when he opens up the crypt at the very beginning and you see the shot of the corpse with the shawl on the cloth on it.
Yeah, the corpse itself is so good. Like
it's
love
really gnarly. The mouth being like wide open like that is really fucking good. That's a really good piece of design. I like Perkins's opening scene where he's like the sub for this class and he's talking about animism and like the idea of ascribing personality and like consciousness to items.
Yeah,
and he's like, even the greatest philosophers in the world, like even someone as learned as, whoever, he's like holding up these things and he like smashes a mirror against the desk and like there's a gasp in the room. Like, hey, I mean, do I really believe some malevolent power is going to grant me 7 years bad luck because I broke that mirror? Of course not. But knock on wood. And it's a really good, like, discussing the sort of high-minded pseudoscience philosophical concept that this class is all about, and then giving a practical explanation of what he's actually talking about. I would have liked, if this movie was about that character, this sort of parapsychologist, supernatural, like, professor, that could have been something. That would have been more interesting, certainly, than the Amy story.
Yeah,
but I really liked that opening lesson.
And it's like, I did think it was kind of funny where it's just like I was putting the sarcophagus crypt under like best inanimate object because I really like the effect of like the sand coming out of the like wolf heads on it and stuff.
Yeah, those
and
are
then
cool.
It's just like he's talking about, there's the idea that some inanimate objects are alive, and it's like, well, fuck. Now you got me thinking. It's like, is this really inanimate now? Like,
I mean, it works. It counts. It counts. I like when she goes to the yard sale, estate sale, and she's trying to haggle with the guy about the trunk, and he says $10, and she says, "Well, it's for this school play," and he cuts her off to say $7.50 bottom line. Like she hasn't even finished her full sentence, and he's knocked off $2.50 from his initial. Like, it's just one of the many little details, which that scene ends with another one of those where they're outside, they're fully in this yard, and there's a desk of like a bunch of other bric-a-brac that's for sale, and there's a phone, like a landline phone on it, and it starts ringing, and he goes to pick it up and he answers, and like, what the hell is that phone plugged into? They're outside. Is there really an extension cord running all the way back into this murder house to show that the phone that they're selling works? What is that for?
I don't know. Like, why, who is calling it?
Well, who's calling is Anthony Perkins, trying to see
yeah.
if the trunk is still there, because he's like hot on the heels of.
But I guess that's it then. It's like they have the phone. Like, it's not a phone that's for sale. It's a phone that's for the guy to get in contact about the estate.
I guess so, but like it's stupid. When is there a trunk in Romeo and Juliet? Said that. Why does this college have an Easter dance? There's a point where she's sewing the cloak into a dress and she snaps at her cousin or someone, gets very like catty with them because the evil dress is having its effects on her.
Yes, that scene. I specifically wrote down a note for that scene that was just simply, oh, Madchen ... because her performance in that scene is really bad.
Yeah, unfortunately. We were saying last week about how Cheryl Lee is such a great actress, and it's a shame that her career never really took off post Twin Peaks. That dynamic is pretty to look at.
Like she's always been good enough in Twin Peaks. Like
yes.
She's never one of the best. Like she's been good, but not like amazing. And so it's
she's
like,
not a great actress necessarily.
And so when you and like we were already talking about last week with how Cheryl Lee, like when your first movie roles are with David Lynch, it's like you're gonna have a hard time transitioning to a different director, one that directs things more normally. And it's like,
but like this is still Tobe Hooper. Like this is his
I know, but it's like he's not David Lynch.
No, but he's very good at directing non-actors. Like everyone in Texas Chainsaw, those performances are really good. The kids in Poltergeist, like those are good kid performances he gets out of them. Like
I would disagree. I
I
of most of the Toby Hooper movies I've seen, I would not like Poltergeist is an exception. Let me like I really like a lot of the cast in that, but like with Texas Chainsaw and like other shit, it's just I don't think of him as an actor's director.
I wouldn't say he's an actor's director, but I would say he has pulled good performances from non-actors or like early on actors. And I don't think like I don't know. It's
And
beside the point. Maginamic is not good in this.
I'll just say this right now in the middle of the episode. I never really cared about Toby Hooper. I don't care about Texas Chainsaw. The second one's better.
I haven't seen the second one. I really need to.
You and Cass would love it, or at
Oh,
least
I'm
Cass would
sure I
love it.
would. I'm sure I would. I just have not gotten around to it yet. But it's one I've been meaning to check out.
Mhm.
Um,
Anyway,
she goes to the dress or she goes to the dance in her red dress where everyone else is wearing all black and white.
we
Like there is not a single other color in that room.
we need to talk about this dance scene. Like, there's so many moving parts to it,
The
and a
music
lot of
is
them are
so fucking
matronic.
weird. The music,
music
is
is
so
so
fucking weird.
I wanted to write it down for best original song, but there weren't any lyrics to it.
Yeah.
And it's like I have no idea how to describe the music because it's just so weird and bad.
It's
And the
really
way
strange. Just put a clip of it. Just put a clip in it right here so that people listening will know.
and the way she dances is so weird and bad as well.
It's
Like,
her sexy dance because the dress makes her a whore.
and
Remember?
it looks more like Audrey Hepburn's interpretive dance from Funny Face than it does
It's
like
the
a
Elaine
substantive
dance. It's the Elaine Bennis dance is what she's doing.
I never watched Seinfeld. I don't really get the
Yeah, but you know the scene. Oh,
I
well.
don't.
Well, fuck you. It's
I wish you
it's-
would.
Okay. It's a crazy scene, and again, she almost fucks her cousin-in-law, almost, but doesn't. And then she just leaves and kills her grandma.
Mm-hmm. It's that's it. That's what happens.
Yep.
But it's so bizarre to witness.
There's also at the end of that scene as she's driving off, Eric walks up because Eric had invited her to the Easter dance, and she said she probably wasn't going to go, but then the dress made her go. And as he walks up, there's like a fountain in the courtyard that's just off frame that's like spitting water up, and the way the shot is framed as he walks up, it looks like he's just straight up pissing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a shot of him from like the chest up, and there's a stream of water shooting up in like the foreground right around his crotch, and it looks like he's just pissing into the air as he is sadly watching her drive off into the night. It's so funny. Oh man,
Another thing is like he's fucking everywhere. Like that fucking guy is everywhere.
Yeah, what's up with that guy?
And I guess it kind of ties into the idea that it's like we were kind of saying it's like the implication that like the cloth like still affects people after it's been worn by them, and it's like how the cloth also wants you to kill everybody who's worn it. So it's like maybe it's making him follow her everywhere, but also I think he's just a kind of a one, he's in love with her, two, he's kind of a creep. And those kind of go hand in hand anyway.
Yeah. It's a wild one. I don't know what's up with that guy. He's got issues. He says he has a week to memorize like 1,000 lines of dialogue from Mercutio, and it is unclear when he got cast as when he got cast in the play.
Yeah.
It's been
it's clearly been a while because
at least enough for him to have said that he had a girlfriend that would do props and then broke up with her, but has only still memorized the first 2 scenes, and he has to have them done in a week, which Mercutio has a whole lot more than 2 scenes. So,
but also it's like he's
slacking, buddy.
He's not like yeah, he's a major supporting character, but he's not like there's not that many lines to memorize. It's like it's not that hard. Like you could definitely do it if he tried or cared, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
because
he
this
doesn't.
is just supposed to be a stupid elective for him. But it's like no, now he has to actually do as.
And then they went and cast him as Mercutio. The next note that I have in my notes is, and I assume this is about Maginamic, but it could have been about Gloria. I don't remember, but at one point, one of them is smoking a cigarette, and she drops it to the ground to snuff it out with her feet. And we cut back up to like her putting it out, and she's twisting her body like full force to the point that it looks like she's just shaking her tits in the camera. And she has this like very low cut dress in doing so, and she drops the cigarette. We cut down briefly to her shoe as she steps on it, and then cut back up, and she's just shaking her tits in the camera. She's what I have in my notes is stomping out a cigarette with her full rack. I think it must be Gloria does that, because my next note is about the scene where she's gone off to her boyfriend, who then she strangles in the shower with a piece of rope, and then when he's dead on the ground, takes the razor blade out of the razor and goes to cut his cock off.
Yay.
Which is not how I remember that scene going from Psycho.
Well, I guess it is like the gender swap version. So
It is.
Yeah.
It really makes you think.
My only note before the ending that I haven't already gone over is just the line savage drug murders.
Yes. We'll talk about the drug murders. My next note, speaking of movies that this movie is kind of like, there were multiple times throughout the movie where Cass just said that it was kind of like Spider-Man 3 in terms of the dress being like the Spider-Man suit calling to him and surviving and showing back up. And he's, he wasn't saying that the movie is like Spider-Man 3, just that like the way the dress behaves is like the suit in Spider-Man 3. But a lot of points throughout the movie was just like, and that's just like Spider-Man 3. So it's also like the scene in Spider-Man 3 where someone gets their dick cut off with a razor blade. So
and of course, like the dance scene is Toby's dance scene.
Toby Hooper, they're both spelled weird. They're both spelled with an E. Web
Toby
connects
Maguire's
us
spelling
all.
is much better than Toby Hooper's.
His web connects us all.
Fuck you. Stop.
Spider-Man 3.
Stop.
Whoa. I'm making connections.
The notes are the quotes.
The notes are the quotes. The scene where she reconnects with Anthony Perkins because he's in this movie and they're talking about the dress and a garment, this particular brand of cursed garment makes someone pure evil. And if someone is already evil, it makes them even more evil. But if someone's good, it just does some other stuff. Like, for example, if they were sexually repressed, the garment might transform them into ... And she cuts in with a whore. And he goes, exactly. Which is so extremely coded as college professor trying to fuck his student because he knows that she knows, because he knows that she has the cloak. And it never gets to that point at the very least, but it is real weird the degree to which some of their conversations get to that. But I just think it's very funny that like she's slut shaming herself about what the dress made her do. It made her dance weird and make out with a guy once.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's calling herself a whore about it. Arlie Ermy with the fries and the burrito. I do like how we just suddenly cut to Wanda murdering this guy in his car. We haven't seen either of these characters ever. We don't know what's going on, but she gets into this guy's car, slits his throat, and then leaves. And I was really hoping that we would just never follow up on that. And that was just one scene inserted here for no reason. And then we just left. It had nothing to do with the plot. She doesn't have the dress. Ultimately, she does have the dress. But like, I was really hoping that was just that for no reason.
Yeah, we just wanted to have a fun little murder scene.
Yeah, just for the sake of it, just to spice things up.
It's like, actually that should be like a thing in the movie where it's just like it's like the bigger fish scene in Star Wars, whatever prequel it is. But it's like somebody's murdering somebody, but then a different murderer murders the murderer, and so
it's kind of like the Hitman scene in Mulholland Drive. But that ultimately does come back in the end as well. But it is kind of that. My next note that I have is the newspaper headline, drug dealer brutally murdered, which reminded me because yesterday we saw a bunch more Twin Peaks in the theater, and that included that great headline, Asian man killed, 2 exclamation points.
Wait,
which is
wait, what?
when Josie kills Jonathan, what's his name, who's like trying to bring her back to Hong Kong, in
Oh,
Seattle, and we're trying to figure out who killed that guy, and it ends up being Josie, obviously. But just the headline for that is "Asian man killed!" Two exclamation
I
points.
don't remember that. Wow.
I didn't either until it came up on the screen. They
Season two Twin Peaks is so
Yeah,
so messy.
we got to Doorknob Josie, we got to all the stuff with Evelyn Marsh and James over and wherever the hell
I
in those episodes. What else happened in those four that we
I
got
feel
yesterday?
so bad for Josie in Twin Peaks. She deserves so much better.
Yeah, they
Like
really screwed that character.
she was so good in part one and then just got completely screwed over.
Yeah, it's really dumb. Um,
And David Lynch wouldn't even bring her back for three because she just got doorknobbed. It's like
yeah, there's no way to explore the Doorknob universe. What a
she
shame.
he could have found a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, I think I don't know. He also didn't bring back like they didn't touch the mill at all, really. Like they didn't bring back Catherine. He didn't bring back obviously he couldn't bring back Pete, but like they're really just relegated to that one archive footage shot of the three of them in like the second to last episode
Hmm.
where Pete goes out fishing that morning and everything's well, and it makes me tear up every time I think about it.
Hmm.
Um, my last two notes that I have: Anthony Perkins' character's first name is Gordon, which is cool.
How fun for
And
you.
yeah, hey, it's like I'm in the movie.
I don't think you
And,
want to be that character considering
eh,
the ending.
I mean, he's like evil, but who cares? Um, and then at the end, when she and Amy and Eric were in the garden or whatever, and they run, or the cops get them or whatever, and then she runs back to chop up the dress. That wood chipper was not there in the previous scenes. It's just there all of a sudden for the sake of having a neat and easy way to get the dress gone. But like, where the hell did that wood chipper come from?
Hmm. I don't know. Magic wood chipper.
Magic wood chipper.
And I was thinking like during like when she was chopping it up, it's just like this seems like the kind of thing where it's like
You're just
when you
making a bunch more of these little bits of the fabric, and they're
exactly
just gonna get everywhere, and now everyone's a little bit evil.
like this is the kind of thing you would have to set up a sequel where it's just like, oh, I think I'm destroying it by chopping it up, but really it just makes everybody get possessed by the dress. Ooh.
And apparently, there was some kind of sequel, something for a later TV show thing. Let me find that again from the trivia. But I don't think it was directly related to that. Cause do you want to talk about the ending now?
Yes. So second to last scene of the movie, it's Anthony Perkins talking to Amy about just like, oh, what happened to the dress? And it's like, oh yeah, we chopped it up and buried it with Wanda. And it's just like, just it's like, well, I hope to see you in my class next semester, yada yada yada. Just like happy ending, whatever. But then we cut to the grave. There's a shovel digging it up, and of course it's Anthony Perkins digging up the grave so he could get the pieces of the dress. And it's like it's just like it was so predictable is the thing. It's just like
He doesn't just dig up the grave, by the way. He digs up the full plot. Like
yeah, like
the
full
it
6 feet, like the entire rectangle.
the whole thing I mean, they clearly just shot that before they filled it back in or
Yeah.
whatever, but it's so stupid. I did
It
find the thing about the sequel episode thing, by the way, but finish your thought.
Oh, I was almost done. It was just that it's just like it was so easy to like think that like oh it's gonna happen somebody's gonna go and dig it back up and it's like when you have that scene of like Anthony Perkins just like talking to her and about the end it's just like please don't let there be a scene where somebody goes to dig the dress and if it's anybody
Oh,
please don't let it be Anthony Perkins but it is
it of
it
course
is
it's
he wants the
obviously is.
dress it's
Yeah.
and he even says in that scene that when he's talking to Amy where it's just like oh like I would have done the same thing
I was
I would
that's why
have
I was seeking it out. I was trying to destroy it. But no.
it's so it's so stupid. I
Just trying
hate
to
it.
get
I
evil with it.
my last note was just fuck off with like 50 Fs.
Yeah. Here's the IMDb note. was readapted in 1997 as an episode for The Hunger TV series. It was given a sequel episode in season 2. The cloth's origin is changed from an Aztec cloth to a piece of red cloth dropped in a fashion designer's loft by a demon.
Fun.
And The Hunger television series, British Canadian television horror anthology series. Each episode was based around an independent story introduced by the host. Do you want to guess the two people that hosted across the 2 seasons?
The Hunger TV show.
Yes.
David Bowie and Susan Sarandon. I don't know.
David Bowie did host the 2nd season. The first season was Terrence Stamp.
Good for him.
First episode stars Balthazar Getty, Amanda Ryan, Timothy Spall, Jamie Foreman. Second episode, Karen Black, Lena Headey, Daniel Craig. Who else is in these? Kenneth Welsh is in one. Sally Kirkland is in one. Jason Scott Lee. Curtis Armstrong. Who else
is Jason Scott Lee a lost actor?
I actually don't remember who that is. I just know the name.
It's just like you read it. Like I was just I know that.
No, he's the guy who played Bruce Lee in Dragon the Bruce Lee story. No relation.
Okay.
Chad Lowe, Brooke Smith, Giancarlo Esposito, Bruce Davison, Stephen McHattie. Who else? Giovanni Ribisi, Eric Roberts,
of course,
David Warner, Brad Dourif is in one of these. Polly Shannon, not Molly Shannon, Anthony Michael Hall, Kathy Moriarty, James Marshall. Speaking of Twin Peaks and that whole section of it, Fisher Stevens. Any like notable directors? Not seeing any. Oh, Tony Scott directed the first episode of season 2. That's somebody. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, Gordon. I could not care less about whatever this is.
And Tony Scott also directed the first episode of season 1. What do you know? Huh. Popular tropes for the stories included cannibalism, vampires, sex, and poison.
My 4 favorite things.
Stories tended to focus on themes of self-destructive desire and obsession with a strong component of softcore erotica. Hell yeah. Anyway, one other little side diversion I want to take us into is when I was trying to find when this aired. I eventually found it on just like a screenshot of like a print ad for it, but I first went to a USA Network commercial like block that were all aired during some James Earl Jones Alien TV movie. And most of them were not interesting, but there were a few. It does start off with a grapefruit juice commercial that is a clear homage to Paris, Texas, where you have a guy walking through the desert wearing a black suit and a red ball cap, and he has a big jug of grapefruit juice that saves him or whatever. There was one commercial for definitely just a regular chat hotline for phone friends in a big pink heart where you can call girls and have phone friends.
Definitely.
Yes, immediately followed by a totally different chat hotline for phone confessions, which they said like that about 4 times over the course of the ad. Phone confessions, where you can call and confess to something.
Murder, perhaps.
It was obviously very sexually based.
Yeah.
Phone confessions.
I love those like 80s, 90s like hotlines, like 1-900 numbers where it's all just scams to steal your money.
Oh yeah. We just watched Punch Drunk Love for Valentine's Day. We showed that at the cinema, and it was hard to not think of that watching these commercials. There were 2 milk ads that had a similar theme. One of them was significantly worse than the other. They're both, a little girl and a little boy in each one. They're not both in both of them. Standing in the mirror, sort of like, oh, I don't like myself. And then older versions of themselves show up in the mirror to be like, hey, if you drink milk, you'll grow up to be like this. And the girl one is like, oh, I don't like my teeth and my skin and my hair. And I'm so frumpy. And as she's getting older, she's like, oh, you'll grow into yourself and the boys will like you if you drink milk. And here's this guy that you just said you have a crush on. And now we're together when we're adults. And he's like, wow, I'll drink my milk now. The boy one is standing there in, I'm going to be generous and say swim trunks. And as he's getting older, it's like, you're going to get buff. You're going to, you're going to get strong. You're going to be more masculine. And hey, now that I'm 18, here's your girlfriend when you're 18. And she goes, hi, Tom, I'm waiting. To this child. It's gross. It's really bad. It's really bad. These are milk commercials.
Yeah, I've seen the
milk.
I've seen those commercials before, just like in old like commercial compilations.
It's bad. And then last thing for you, we don't have to cut the episode right on this, but I do have a cheese riddle for you.
A cheese riddle. Oh,
this is cheese riddle number 18. Mom, what do you get when you slice and melt American cheese over ordinary hot dogs?
A delicious snack.
A happy lunch bunch. That's right, Mom. Cheese makes it taste better, so don't forget the cheese.
Oh, beautiful. I'm not ending the episode there.
Good.
But
Mom, what do you get when you slice and melt American cheese over ordinary hot dogs? A happy lunch bunch. Which, by the way, slicing and melting American cheese over ordinary hot dogs includes just layering slices of American cheese over the hot dog, and it melts just like over the side of the bun. It's not just over the meat. You're just putting like a Kraft single on top of a hot dog and melting it, and it's just like covering the whole dog. It was grotesque.
that's so
something
funny.
that R. Lee Ermy would eat in this movie without problem.
Look. I would absolutely eat that too, though.
It looked so the cheese did not look good, and the fact that it's just like on top of the hot dog, there's like no way to hold it without just getting your fingers doused in cheese because it's just dripping over the sides of the bun. It's un-American.
No, it's very American, Gordon. It's very American.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be.
Like, look, I'm telling you and the world here and now that I would 100% eat that fucking dog with cheese on it. And
I am gonna send
I would
you a
even put
screenshot
chili
after
on
this.
top of it. Just make it just so goopy and gross and just eat it all. It will be messy, but it'll be glorious.
A cheese riddle. Mom, what do you get when you slice and melt American cheese over ordinary hot dogs? A happy lunch bunch. That's right, Mom. Cheese makes it taste better. So don't forget the cheese.